Do you feel like your climbing is a battle that you're losing? Your legs are burning, your lungs are exploding, and you get that dreaded fear of getting dropped and having to roll up the climb when everybody's waiting for you. I got your back in this video. Now I've got the perfect plan for you. I'm going to give you the tools to improve your climbing and also share with you what to avoid when you're on those challenging climbs. What I want to share with you first is that pacing strategy, what I call the ego rider. You see, there's a key rule you have to follow. When you're riding, do your legs start burning before your breathing really kicks in? If that is the case, you're in the wrong gear and you're riding to your ego, or you're in a group ride and you're riding to other people's pacing strategy, not your own. Or even worse, you're riding solo and you're on Strava and you're worried about what the fuck other people will think of you going up a climb so slow. Look, none of that matters, but if you're in the wrong gear, the legs will burn first. So you need to use your gears. Why is it so many people are afraid of changing gear, especially in the first 30 to 60 minutes? Because it's not a fueling strategy then. You're in the wrong gear. Play around with your gear. Try and stick to the ideal cadence, what your normal cadence is. If you start to over-torque, over-gear, you're burning more fuel and you're wasting those beautiful fast-twitch fibers. You're blowing them up, and if your fitness is not where it should be, you're going to take much longer to recover. So you fall out of love with climbing, you start to make excuses. I need to go to the gym to improve my strength. No, you don't. You stay on that bike and you climb at an appropriate pace. You gear down. You even go into the granny ring if you have to keep the cadence suitable for your genetics and getting up that climb in one piece. You see, climbing is life. Every single climb, even if you repeat the same one every day, every week, the wind direction changes, the temperature changes, it becomes a challenge. Some days you have to go up it slow. That is life. You just keep progressing and you embrace climbs. You add more climbs into your outdoor rides. Never ever shy away from them, because they are holding you back from really maximizing your fitness. So, legs versus lungs. If the legs burn, you gear down. Accept it and get up the climb at your pace. Before long, when I share drills with you, you'll be going up much faster. Okay, let's do the fun stuff now. Let's do the drills. Now, yes, I'm indoors. I'm indoors so I can teach you better, but the skills that I'm going to show you in the drills are super easy to then convert and do them outdoors. And at the end of the video, I'll show you, if you use power, how to make a test indoors or outdoors as well. So hang around to the end. Right, the first drill we're going to talk about is low cadence, high cadence. So we're going to work on legs and lungs, and then both in the same drill. This is a great starter drill. So in any climb, ideally you want a couple of minutes. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, it doesn't matter. I like climbs to be at least 3 minutes if you're a beginner, okay? But you can try this all over the place. Now what we're looking for is low cadence at 60 to 70 RPM. High cadence, just anything that takes you 15, 20 RPM above your normal cadence. And we're looking for 30 seconds to 60 seconds to start with. And everything is seated in this drill. So we want to start and we want to find on the climb, this ideally 60 to 70, as I said. Now at this speed, what's happening is 1 revolution per second roughly, depending on how much you can gear up. Now here's the test. You're over gearing when your pelvis starts to rock. And we call it grinding and mashing through the pedals. This is not good. Too much force on the knees, but a lot of pressure on the lumbar, because you're trying to stabilize your pelvis with the wrong muscle. Do you ever get back pain when you're doing a lot of climbing? That is because you're over gearing. Okay, so let's stop that. We find the point where we've got the resistance and we're able to have this smooth flow, and we're not bouncing our ass like Beyonce on the saddle. You'll be able to get this up to 60 RPM, close to your FTP. Oh yeah, within weeks, you'll be amazed. So we would hold for 30 to 60 seconds, nice and controlled. And then what we can do is make the gearing a little bit easier, and then we just smoothly transition. It's not a sprint. We smoothly transition into a faster cadence. So this takes me to 110. I'm about a 90 RPM. Can you see how everything's rock solid? And then we gear, and then I just transition back down into the mid 60s. I feel this. I can sit upright. Big breath through my nose. Relax on the bars. I'm not over torquing. I've got the right gear. Yeah, you get the idea? You work out the time, you bring the gear easier, but you just gradually increase the cadence. Cadence is nice and soft. I'm back to 110, and then nice and easy, I put the gear back on, and I dial it back down to 60 RPM. A beautiful drill. Grade yourself in how well you transition. You can practice on different parts of the bars, but focus on disguise. Yes, you're changing gear, but focus on the disguise of the pedaling, how it's a smooth transition into the high and the low. And as you get lower, experiment with the torque. Increase it, but always have that pinch point when you start wiggling. Low, high cadence, fantastic. Drill number 1. Okay, drill number 2 is what I call the momentum drive. And what we're going to do is we're going to attack the bottom of the climb. So we're almost going to create a threshold VO2 workout on the climb.
Well, Coach, you said about pacing strategy, not go off too hard.
No, this one teaches you it, because what we're going to do is we're going to get to a point on the climb. Now, ideally, I like somewhere around 3 minutes. If you haven't got a long enough climb, because we need to have a little bit to ride on. It could be extra long, it doesn't really matter. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, beyond the 3 minutes. But if you've got a shorter climb, try and get at least 1 minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to drive into the climb. This may be a minute into the climb. At the bottom, it may be 30 seconds, but we must go hard. We must get up to threshold speed. Give yourself an 8 or a 9 out of 10 RPM. We drive in hard, and then we try and hit 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, a road sign, a marker. This is your point that you're going to really go hard to. And then when we get to that point, we must then continue riding. We downgrade the gearing, we make it softer, we bring the cadence back under control, and we try and get under control with our breathing before we get to the top of the climb. So it's pretty straightforward. We want to pick our climb, we've got to know our climb. This can be a local climb, something that you're really familiar with, and you've got your markers. Now, if you do a minute or 2 or 3 minutes, mark it visually. Where did you get to in 3 minutes? Where did you get to in 1 minute, 2 minutes? Because we're going to use this as a test point later on. We're going to use the power that we hit on those times. We're going to use our heart rate and then how much we can bring it down. We're going to look at our times over the whole climb as well. We're going to learn how to drive and then how to pace. So it's splitting things up inside the ride. So the way it would look is we would get into race position and we would go super hard into the bottom. Sitting down, no standing. And then we get into climb. And then we get into climb position. Solid pelvis. We're going real hard. I'm at 350 watts. 400. And then we hit our marker. I'm going to hold it back because you're not going to hear me if I'm breathing too much. I gear down. Now immediately when you hit that point, I need you to come up into climb position, but you must keep pedaling. Do not fucking quit. Okay, do not back out. You just bring the pace down and you bring that cadence down. I'm still around 85 RPM. It's about 170 watts into that zone 2, and I'm going to fight through and I'm going to bring my heart rate down. Now I've visually marked on the road where I hit in that minute. Boom. I have done this drill with Olympians, Commonwealth Games riders, and it becomes incredibly powerful when you know how far you can get in 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 3 minutes. And that 3 minute effort, if you're able to do it, gives us a good connection with our VO2 power. Yeah. If you use apps like Training Peaks, you might find yourself getting peak powers for this drill, but you've got to keep going. I have done this drill on 20-minute climbs, but only done a 3 minute drive into the bottom. And what we can do is over a period of time, we can add in drill 1 closer to the top as well, where we're playing around with cadence. So we drive into the bottom, we get that momentum push, we blow up, but then we've got to keep going. And the challenge is get the heart rate down or get it plateauing and get to the top. And before long, you'll find yourself going faster and faster and faster. But you'll learn your limits. You will learn the momentum part and how to go in hard and not back off climbs, not fear them. Go in and attack them. Drill number 2. It is brilliant. Try it. Okay, drill number 3. Yes, I'm starting to sweat. This is a great drill because we're going to get our ass off the seat now. We're going to do standing and seated climbs. We're going to go back to a VO2 type workout, and we're going to throw you all over the place on any length of climb. So if you've only got short climbs, this works great. If you've got long climbs, then hang on, buddy, because this is going to blow you up. Now, what we got to do is make sure that we can come out the saddle okay. And what we're going to do is try and drive when we're out the saddle. When we come back into the saddle, you got it, we go into that nice relaxed feel. So the sitting is controlled, out the saddle is attack, and it's got to be punch, 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 but we're only doing 10 seconds. Yeah, this is 10 seconds of out the saddle. So when we're out the saddle, what we need to remember is when we rock out the saddle, if you're in a soft gear, a low gear, always apply what I call the rule of 2. You've got to click and increase the torque by 2 gears. 2 gears allows you not to collapse over the top of the stroke. Because when we're spinning in a low gear and I stand up in the same gear, as I push, I collapse. There's no resistance, it's too soft, because all your body weight is now going through the peak torque angle, and you collapse. You can fall forward, you've maybe done that before. So the rule of 2, boom, boom. The rule of 1 if you're just a beginner, but give yourself more resistance before you stand up. And do not change the gear until you sit down, otherwise you'll destroy your rear mech, okay? So we gear, we're nice and comfortable, we gear up, 2, and then it's forward. And what we want to do is bring our body weight forward, ideally on the hoods, not on the drops, although it can be done, on the hoods, and we go 10 seconds. And we're really hard. 10 seconds. And then we sit down, we've got enough momentum, bring the gearing down and find that nice relax. Now what you're going to find here is you get up, boom, you get the hammer, oxygen debt. Oh, you're now got to repay the oxygen. But the brutal thing is you're on the climb, there's no escape. You're not going to climb off your bike or stop. You have to get back under control. Now what I would say to all beginners here is let yourself come under control until you feel it, then you go again. The better you get, you spot on the climb. You're watching the layout of the road. You're looking for little steep sections where you can really attack. So we get ourselves comfortable again, nice and relaxed. Then we remember, rule of 2. Okay, pick my spot. Gear, 1, 2. Up we go, rock forward, nice and solid. Keep our eyes on the road. Come on, come on. And then down we go, and bring it back together. Bring the gear down, there we go. Into the climb position, ideally palms of hand. Don't over grip, because this is going to help prevent the blood flow and what we call lactate flushing, okay? We've got blood returning from the lower legs. If it meets resistance with muscles under torque in the upper body, it's no good, because this blood hasn't got much lactic in it. Okay, let it flush. We breathe through our nose. Try and open up that diaphragm. And then we relax. You choose how many times you pop it. Okay, those 10 seconds. Boom, 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 boom. Hard as you can. And then get back into recovery. I don't give a shit about the climb from bottom to top, what time you're trying to get. Because if you do this drill, I'd love to hear from you. If you get a personal best on that climb, even going slow in between, you'll be amazed. Now, an extra little tip, when you get to the top, if you see the summit, try this. Try and summit hard over the top. Sit down and keep going hard until you're on that downhill. Don't just blow up on the top and take a photograph. Practice driving over the top and then getting into the downhill. And then the downhill, get your breath back. That is standing and seated. That is 3 drills, but I got a little bit more for you. Hey, these climbing drills are great, but they're only a small part of what you can do to up-level your fitness. I'm doing a New Year's special at the moment where I'm giving away for free my $99 starter plan. You can get it for free if you're one of the first 99 riders. Yes, only 99 to click the link. It's in the description, first link, click it, you'll get the plan, and it will totally transform your fitness and your own outlook on your cycling. Don't delay, you'll be kicking yourself in the ass if you miss out. Okay, so finally we've got to track your progress, so you're going to test. So maybe you're using apps like Strava, so they're going to give you time on those favourite climbs, something that's local, something you can repeat regularly. Do it in similar conditions, so don't be setting your baseline with a headwind and then going out with a tailwind and smashing it. But simple ways to use time. If you're in a group, for example, maybe someone's a couple of minutes ahead of you. What's the difference in time on that next group ride to your time and their time? Can you narrow that? Don't be chasing them. Can you narrow it because there's someone just in front of you, someone that you're going to kick their ass? They're maybe 10, 15 seconds ahead of you. Get them in your sights, ride with them, and then surpass them. And bit by bit, you will start to improve your confidence on the climb by adding in these drills. Now, there are other ways that you can use peak power. For example, when we do the momentum drive, maybe you're 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you can make a visual marker on that climb. Can you beat that distance in 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? You can do this in a group with someone. You can do alternate climbs where they spot you on the first effort to mark the minute or the 2 minutes, for example. And this can be really powerful because once you've got that line on the road, you will be no idea how much it motivates you to get that little bit further. Now, there are other ways that we can take that peak power and we can put it indoors. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5, 20, and we can then drive hard sessions indoors that replicate the power you're doing outdoors when the weather is too difficult for you to get on those climbs. You should be able to ride and tell anyone in the group without looking what cadence you're at, what heart rate you're at, and what power you're at without looking. And climbing does that because you learn so quickly what you're capable of. So dial in those tracking methods and just get on those climbs. Embrace those climbs. Never shy away from the climb because the climb is life. The struggle, the hardship, the headwinds, the rain, the summit finish at 10% plus. You master climbing, you'll master life. Hey, I've got one final thing I need to share with you in this video. Cycling destroys knees. Yes, you heard that right. Most people have experienced knee pain at some point in their cycling career, and I want you to be climbing and cycling forever. So this video will show you how to set up your bike, how to avoid knee pain, so that you can smile and conquer every hill in your local area. King, queen of the mountain, yeah baby. Consider subscribing. I've got 30 years experience as a coach and 20 years experience as a bike fitter. Keep smiling, keep spinning, and keep climbing.